folks, welcome back to TIMBERBORN, and let's continue with the irrigation project. With luck, we will finish the irrigation project in this video, because that means we can move on to update 1. If we don't, we don't. I'm hoping no more than maybe one video after this, because I would really like to start playing on update 1. I've been doing a little bit of play in the background and it's really good fun. So yeah, I'm mostly happy with what we've got this side for irrigation. We could maybe do with a little bit more here. I think we could achieve that with I'm just wondering if this might be a little bit cheeky. If we came in here with a tunnel and put it there, I wonder, it's only a single, so it might not do very much. Actually going to do, and you're probably sat there going, it's going to do nothing. What's he doing? He's an idiot. It's certainly going to increase evaporation, but, you know, bear with me, people. Be patient. All that kind of stuff. Did I actually put it in the wrong place? Potentially. Coordinates are 116,204, 116,204. No, so they should be able to get to that. Yeah, they might not be able to get to that one, but we can address that. And I'm just curious if that will be enough to bring that to an irrigated state. This we're going to resolve relatively simply, I think, apart from the fact that we now can't get into here easily. Well, apart from the fact that we could, because what we can do, if this path is still connected, what we can do is delete this sluice gate, because that sluice gate is not required. We can then come in here, put a stairs there, right there on the stair, because this is sealed, so it doesn't matter. We can then get a tunnel. Why can't I see the tunnels today? And go down from there. How far down do we need to go? I guess what we should do is look at where we want to go to. In fact, has that resolved it? All on its lonesome? It has. Okay. Just that being full has fixed it. Or have they built one of the tunnels? Maybe they've put some of the tunnels in. Okay, let's go with that. We'll let them put those tunnels in. Let's just pause a sec. Actually, we'll stop them building. Did they actually put any of the tunnels in? No. Okay, so just filling that resolved that issue. Okay. Right, what about over here before we get on to the other side of things? So that one's in. And I'm guessing, yeah, they can't reach that one. So, to put that in, and probably we need to delete that, put in a ladder, and then put a tunnel on on top of the ladder. Yep. And see if that does anything for the irrigation there. It might not do a lot because it's a 1 by 1. I get that. While they're working on that, let's just reset this. And we need to be looking at connecting power down to here, don't we? So let's come in here. So we've got our powered levee. We need to get to here. So I think the easiest way is just to come straight across, isn't it? Probably. So we'll dynamite there. Can they get to that? Yeah, I'll let them put that in, and then we're going to go down a little bit so that it's hidden. Is my plan. Come back over here. Did this go in? It did. It hasn't done very much. So let's come in here. And maybe if we expand that a little bit, then it might do something. And because it's capped off, it should be fine. Question mark. We need to run at double speed, not triple speed. So interestingly, I did some testing on my other computer, which I use for editing, and the game ran better on that, which it wasn't previously. So I am pretty curious to see. I put them in the wrong place. Okay. And we want to put them there. So let's put them there as well. Tunnels. I'm pretty curious to see how 1.0 is going to run on the computer that I record on. Because it's not convenient for me to play on the PC that I edit on most of the time. There we go. That's what we want. Lovely job. So that's nice and green. That's nice and green some of the time. So that's really good. Right, back over here. Here. Right. H for boom. So we're actually going to want to go down. Take power there and then go down from there, I think. So let's go normal power shaft. Down 1. And then, so that's going to be, let's just wait and see. So actually, I really struggle with the layer tool and heights of things sometimes, as you will have seen. So yeah, H for boom, and then we're at the correct level. So then we get the tunneling tool. We're going to use the, or we can do power tunnels, can't we actually? Or is it going to be better? Let's just go for it. Let's just go for it, shall we? We can always put a parallel tunnel in. And where are we headed to coordinates wise? That's 250, 151, 250, right. So, where were we? Where were we, folks? There, right. There, right. So we want to get to 250. And then we're in line with it. And then I think what we'll do, we'll come in here and we'll grab our platform path tunnel. And we'll put it next to it. And we'll put one there as well. And then we'll put a ladder there. And a ladder ladder there, and that should let them build most of that, and then we'll just connect it up afterwards. And then we need to go over here and let's come to here and grab power. And where are we headed on this direction? 151, right? So power shaft, platform, tunnel, 151 there. So that should be good. And then if we start throwing dynamite in there, that should get us where we want to go. And we'll also come here and we'll put that along the side there. That should let them build that, and we're just going to leave them to that. I think that path should be connected up. No. Path. Oh, did I put the ladder in the wrong way? Yeah. Well, that was pretty darn dumb, wasn't it? So let's delete that. Delete that. Ladder. Ladder. Yeah, I know you're stuck. You won't be stuck for long, don't worry. Path. Path, that sorts it. So let's high prioritize building those. And that should let them build all of that. Let's bring over extract, planks, explosives, and logs and gears. Right, let's put in some small storages. So we want logs, planks, gears, which we don't seem to have any of somehow. Extract. How do we? No, we do have gears. And then we don't have gears. Ah, it's because we're in that district. Okay, I think we would maybe be wise to connect this up to the main district. So let's come tiny tubeway station there for faster building. There. I think that will be better. So we're going to leave them to do that. Over here, we need to throw in a collection of foresters to reforest. And then over here, we need to start expanding the irrigation system. So I think from this one, where do we want to go to, I guess? There's the question. And how much do we want to try and make green? Well, lots of it, sir. Lots of it. Right. Okay. Of course you do. Of course you do. Right. Well, problem number one is we can't get in there. It's a good job we put in that, because that way we can close that and not lose all of our water, because we need to reopen this guy. So let's throw in some explosives about there? Question mark? Yep. And down here, we're also going to need to get back in here. So let's close that one. And about where that path ends, I think we throw some there. Right. Let's start planting trees. And what we want to try and do is scatter. I think there is a mod actually to do forests, which would have been useful to install, but I didn't. So what we're going to do is try and throw in just random distributions of trees with gaps, because we'll then turn off planting. Let them spread. And hopefully that'll work. And yes, I know I've done this on previous videos, but you know, it's nice to rewild nature and recover the environment for the beavers, undoing the damage of humanity in our post-apocalyptic beaver world. Well, okay, that was a bit of a lag moment. We don't really want that many blueberry bushes. Let's throw some coffee in as well. Let them do that, and then let's get to work over here. Right. Boom. Boom. And then let's put in some ladders. And ladders. And we can start thinking about where we go with our irrigation. So I guess we want the next irrigation pool here. Maybe somewhere down here, maybe. So, and for convenience, we could just tunnel it all out, but it's probably easier to explosives it all out. And then over here, we probably can go as far as over here. Something like that. I mean, we might want to be up on the higher ground, actually. And have it spread down. I'm probably not going to irrigate this very top piece. Partly because I'm not going to do a perfect job on this. I do want to get to 1.0. I know. You might be disappointed with that, but there are two parts to that. as there are often two parts to things in things that I talk about. So number one is, as a content creator, I feel I am missing out on an opportunity to make videos on the newest thing, which is generally bad as a content creator. You want to be making content on the new thing. As a viewer, you might be sat there going, I just want to watch because I like the videos that you make. And that's awesome. Thank you. I like that you like what I make. And I appreciate that. That's really cool. But there are people who don't know I exist that might click because I've made videos that are on the new thing. The new hotness is always the new hotness. You know? So, and having played it, it's a lot of fun. So I have played one of the maps, obviously. Oh, darn it. We did not want to do that. Beavers, I did not want you to do that. Right. I mean, you can do those, and then you need to go down to there. And we're going to need to come in with some dirt and repair that. And maybe repair under here. Yeah. We do need to, which is kind of annoying. So, I guess we need to delete that. Delete that. Put in dirt. And then put back the tunnel. So yeah, I've played one of the new maps, and it's a lot of fun. I very much enjoyed playing it. I have a dilemma. And it's another one because I make YouTube videos. So we'll talk about it, and I want your opinion, folks. Everyone is playing Oasis. That I've seen anyway. So most people are playing Oasis. Let's go with that. And it has... There's another one there. Okay. I'm dumb. That's why it's so green all the way over here. Right. So let's undo the U. Undo you. Undo you. Delete you. Close. You back up. Okay, where did I put you? It's been a little while, folks, and it's been a period of time. Let's say, right, explosives. There. Right. Okay, let's let them put that in. We'll come back over here. So what have we achieved with this stuff? Path. path there, path, path, there we go. So they'll work on that. H for boom. Are you still closed? You are still closed. There's going to be some spillage because this is going to have to drain out. That's fine. Right. Where was I? I'm not sure. Yeah, so there, I remember now. Most people seem to be playing the Oasis map. And it's a really cool map, and it's the one map that has the aquifer mechanic in it that we've got at the moment. Oh, that's going to work really nicely. Cool. So we'll let them do that, except we will replace those tunnels with paths. And I really like that mechanic, and I would like to play with it. But every series that I've seen on version 1.0 is using that map, which is kind of a bit samey. And so I would like to do something different. The complication is that, so we have the other map, and I say the complication because I've played on the other map enough that I've been through the kind of puzzle element of that map now. And so it feels like I've done a lot of the challenge element of that challenge map, if that makes sense. I got really hooked on playing it. It's a really fun map. If you haven't played it and you're playing that version of the game, you should play it. It's a lot of fun. But I realized that once I got a reasonable way through it, that it felt like it was a map that you could only really play once and it be a unique challenge. Because once you know the things that are going to happen, the challenge element goes away, if that makes sense. So my question to you good folks, I think I put more ladders in there than I need, is should I replay that map knowing that, you know, I'm going into it with foresight? Where's it taking all that water from? Oh, it's not. It's taking it from there. Okay. And that I know most of the challenges that come with that map. Or do I play the Oasis map, which I've not played before, but a lot of other people are playing, and you've probably seen a bunch of people play. So kind of that's the dilemma that I have. That you guys will have seen that already. So, and I guess there's also a warning in there that if you want to play that map and you want it to be a unique challenge for you, don't watch someone play it on YouTube, because it will spoil it for you. Quite significantly, I think. But we're going to get some die off of some stuff, but because I was stupid. So we might need to replant some of this, but maybe I shouldn't have been so enthusiastic about how I was with my planting. Anyway, you can always come back and replant stuff. Right now it's about expanding this network, and I guess we could throw in some ladders here and get that going. How are we for resources? We're good for the things we need by the looks of it. So, yeah. Okay. I've played on for a few minutes and I've put in another potential spot here, and I'm putting in stairs at all of the points, and I've put in another potential spot here, and I'm about to put in, I say stairs, ladders here. I figured we have so many builder beavers that it makes sense that we have multiple things being done, because the more things we have being done, the quicker they will be done. Does that make sense? And I'm just kind of guessing where we need to put them at this point, because we don't have enough water to fill up the irrigation system, as you can see from the fact that this is drying out a little bit. So yeah, there's a little bit of guesswork going on, but that's fine, you know. Guessing is not a bad thing, and if we overdo it, we overdo it. Now, there was a request to get water back in the stream during the droughts. If we didn't have super long droughts, that would be easily achievable, but with the super long droughts, I think that's probably going to be unachievable with where we are in terms of wanting to wrap the series up soon. Yeah, unfortunately. If version 1.0 hadn't dropped, then I would be, you know, perfectly happy to try and keep progressing things, but I would like to move on. So that's what we're aiming to do. Yeah, we'll come across here, we'll put a couple in here, we'll link all of these through, and maybe we'll put one more here. All this path network that I put in for doing all of the tree cutting is proving to be quite useful. We might struggle to get all the way up here, but given that we're going to have all these sealed, we might be okay. This is the same height as this, so I don't know. Some people were pointing out that I'd made a mistake with how I'd set it up, and to be honest, if we can't quite irrigate this, I'm not worried. A bit of me thinks we maybe expand this layer and we put irrigation in at this level, like this. And I think that would be absolutely fine. And maybe we come in and put irrigation in here as well. And here. And maybe down here. And down here. And maybe down here. We don't need to put any bad water. We've got so much bad water that there's no point trying to pump that out. Just let it evaporate as we get all of this stuff done. That can go slowly away. Run you over there. We probably need to put one in here. Yeah, something like that. So let's blow all of these up and then work out how we're going to connect them all up. So these should be pretty simple. We can just flow tunnels down. And we'll do the same thing. We'll use the tunnel with path. Let's just check, yeah. So then I think we'll drop down 1, 2, come in there, and that should be good, yep. And then from here, we can go down to the bottom of this. We'll come across here. That'll be fine. We probably want to get into both of these. So let's enable that. Just thinking that the more entry points we have to the system, the better. So they're connected up. I think then we want to come down here. And we can do that as a straight shot. Yep. Okay, let's carry on. So I've put some explosives to be set in here to deepen this guy up. Blasted this one out, so let's have a look at what we still need to connect up. So they're connected now. This one is not. So I think we can pretty much just run something like that into there, and just for kind of flow, we'll run that into there. It's not great for evaporation probably, but you know. And depending on, that's not great because that's going to show in the riverbed, and that's going to be not good. We'll get rid of that. So actually we won't go that way. Let's pause a sec because they've probably started building those already. Although that's the same level, that's not very optimal for building. They will come this way, will come out of this one. So let's come out of here. So let's grab a path, shall we? There. If we go from that corner, so let's bring the path over there. If I'm at that level, probably no good, so we want to go down. Now if I come across, we're okay. No, we need to go down another level. Let's get rid of those. Let's go down. You can just use ordinary tunnels for that. That's good. So were they okay? They were they're okay. Okay, so tunnel path there. So if we're there, there, there. So we'll just drop straight out of the bottom of there. I like that. Right, that will link those up. Okay. Right, they're getting linked up. That can be detonated, and then so that is going to need to, let's run that. Where are we trying to get to? If I switch that on there, okay, we go there, yep, and then there, question mark. We could go one less there, and then we can start putting triple dynamite in that corner. That'll get that linked up, and I guess we could do the same with that one. So if we get the tar path, go from there to there, and actually that's good. And then get the tunnel path, go to the bottom there, go there, there, cross to, and then to there, not quite there. Yep, that's that linked in. Right. A lot of building to do. What I might do is jump away for a bit and do some of this building off camera, so this video doesn't, I think it's already quite long, so to stop it being immensely long. So that's those linked together, and if we go that way, and if I then go across there and maybe put, actually let's use a tunnel, where are we, too far down, there, yep, that'll do. So if we build all of that, that's a lot of that done. How do we get this one connected? Let's go in here. And I'm thinking we do something quite similar. So we come across, hopefully we're not showing in the river, we're not. And if we're there, we are. So then let's go there. Where do we need to get to? There, right, let's go down from there. We're there. Let's get normal tunnels. We're there, up. We're there, awesome. So we're obviously going to need to cap all of these to stop them overflowing, but for now I want to leave them open because it gives them all access to put everything in. H for boom, and we're there, excellent. And that's hopefully going to green up all of this bit and all of to there. We're getting there. We're getting there. Obviously, having some of our irrigation turned off is not great for the things that we've planted, but we'll just replant them, so that's fine. But yeah, I'll get all of this put in and I'll come back. Okay, a fair bit of it is built, but there is more to go. But they have quite a long way to trek. We should probably expand the tubeway network to help them out, but I'm not feeling generous to the beavers, so we're just going to crack on with putting in more irrigation pits and then linking them up. So, and there is no science to how I am picking where these go, particularly it's largely by kind of eyeballing roughly where I think the right gap is. So we may end up with gaps in our irrigation, which is fine. It doesn't have to be perfect, folks. We are just out here peeling carrots. So I'm just going to pick some more random spots and throw them in so that we can get everything kind of roughly in place. And I think that's probably... Do I want to try and push all the way down? I think this is a good enough area of the map to have turned green. You might disagree, and if you do, then that's fine. Genuinely, if, as I've said it many times in this video, if update 1.0 had not come to the experimental branch, I would have happily taken your comments on board about doing significantly more. However, I really want to get stuck into the new experimental branch, and therefore I want to move on. So we're going to come across there, we're going to come across here, and we're going to get to there. That'll get us to there. I've put in more builders huts because we had spare bots, so we just need to link this stuff in. Can they not get to those? It doesn't look like they can, so let's give them access. We need to be able to get to everything. So let's start detonating everything. H for boom, remember, folks. And if you want to know why, I don't know, it just is. It's a part of history now. Yeah, we can get to those at least. Some of them it's just going to take them a little while to get to. I still need to build that bridge. Building bridges is important, folks. Get that out. Let's get all of the ladders in. There we go. We do want paths to the ladders so that we can then explore the underground tunnel system that our beavers have access to. Let's get rid of you. Yeah, that in. That path looks horrendous, but you know, I don't care, because it's all going to be deleted once things are done. And we've put lids back on all of this. So that's that. There we go. Lovely job. Ladders for all. All of you get a ladder. And that is just because we've got such a big army of builders that even though some of this stuff is a really long way for them, it's worth them being able to come at it from both ends, because that's double the fun. If you you laughed at that, you are filthy and disgusting and have a dirty imagination. And you should be ashamed of yourself. Right. We will, in fact... No, let's not put on there. Right. Okay, now for the tunneling. So... Oh, no. One more. H for boom. More ladders. And there we go. Right. And down we go. So that one is going to be a slight problem, but we are going to cap that off so it won't be in the end. And I guess we want something to feed you from. And I guess that could be you. Yep, it could be you. You have been chosen. You are the chosen one. Really matter that it comes in there, I don't think. And then we can tee off of there. Come in there. Yep. Let's grab a path to there. Let's make sure we've got a path to there. And then let's go from there to there. Let's make sure we have a path there and there. That's those linked in, and then we want to come straight down there. That'll work. Put a path piece there. And then from there, we'll come straight down like that. And we'll come across there. And across there. And does that one not have ladders in it? It does not. Oh, slacking. There we go. Good job. Hold on, mate. A rock. Right. So you need to be connected in still. So I think what we can do is go there. There. That'll be fine. So that's most of that side connected in except that one. That one is a bit deeper. So we're going to have to come across to there. And then what we'll do is we'll come here. We'll come there. Yeah. And then we want a normal tunnel piece. Get it in the right place. There. There. Yep. That'll work. And we can always speed that up by putting some ladders in. Oh no, we don't like that. Pause. No, 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 no. We don't like that at all. Delete. Delete. So what we need to do is from there get our tunnel piece, go down to there, delete you, then bring you all the way around to there. There we go. That's those connected up. But it's just those two that are not connected. So we will come off of there to there. That should resolve that. And you, yep. So we're going to have to go down from there, or we can come across there. Yep. So let's get the normal tunnel piece. There, there, there. And we're good. So I think that is all of them connected once they're done. And I think that's going to green up to most of this area, which is pretty solid. This doesn't have power yet, but if we go in here, do we have power to this? We have power to there. Delete that. Delete that. What we can do is come up with a vertical power shaft to there. There we go. And over here, what we can do is delete you. And we'll delete that and that and those. And we might as well reseal that and power. Get rid of you and put you, no. Power, vertical power shaft, and that should connect that up. Famous last words. So I'm going to let them get all of that built, and I'm not going to time lapse it because most of it's underground and it'll be really boring. So I'll be back when everything is hopefully built and we just need to cover it all. Hey folks, I think everything is in, which is why we're looking at this very boring looking map, because we're going to just scroll our way up and see if we can see any unbuilt tunnels as we go. So that's the plan. Shout if you see any. Need to zoom in a little bit. So they should stand out as being grey. Don't see any yet. Looks like we have probably got them all, which is good. We've got 8 days left on the drought. Yep, it looks like they are all there. So that's pretty cool. So the next job is to put lids on all of these. So what we're going to do is come in, delete the ladders, and just put dirt across the top. That simple. And that means that we don't have to worry about the fact that we've not got sluices controlling the detail of most of it. We do have some in there which lets us turn off sections, like the fact that we haven't burnt away all of the water that we've got stored. We have got a little bit left stored, which means hopefully we might be able to test this before the drought ends. I think we might have enough water in there. If you were watching the video and frantically typing away, that I might have occasionally not had access to things that were being built. Well, that's why you don't get to see all of the video, and I do, because as they weren't being built, I added in access. Magical. But yeah, there were bits of the tunnel system that as I laid them in, extra ladders or whatever were needed, either in the holes or within the tunnel system, and I put them in as I went. And I know some of you are really good at spotting that stuff, and you will want to have told me that I didn't put them in. But by now, you're too late, because I've already put them in. But thank you for telling me. I love that they're trying to use the tunnels to get to places more quickly. That's quite funny. That the tunnels are the fastest access. But don't get yourself stuck down there, beavers. I've also added in a little charging spot over here for them, because I was aware that we had a lot of bots coming over here and they didn't necessarily have anywhere close by to charge, so I thought that would be friendly of me. Yeah, because I'm nice like that, you know. I'm a nice beaver overlord. I mean, what we don't have is any dirt storage nearby, but you know, it is what it is. There's probably dirt storage close to the entrance of a tubeway, and they've got access to the tubeway network, so yeah. And we've got 650 dirt, so hopefully we can do this relatively easily. I'm not worried about recovering all of the planks that are in the tunnel system, because we've still got 2,500 planks. So I think we'll be fine there, you know? I think we'll be okay. And I'm just kind of putting these in slowly, because we are seeing the bots still, and the bots and the beavers still occasionally using the tunnels, and as I delete the ladders, I'm hoping that will discourage them from using said ladder system. And we'll start retreating the path network as well. Although I do want to be able to plant on here, so maybe we'll keep the path network so that we can get stuff planted. That'd be a good idea, wouldn't it? And there's bound to be mistakes, isn't there? Let's be honest. Bound to be mistakes, which you've probably spotted, because I will say, and I see it when I'm watching other TIMBERBORN creators, it's much easier to spot the mistakes when you're watching someone than when you're making the videos. It's just a thing, I think. I don't know why, but it just seems to be. I am going to throw. Damn it. Let's be crazy, shall we? Dirt, obtain. Let's get some dirt brought over. Let's just be crazy, shall we? Come on, game. You're holding up very well today. We've all been very proud of you for how you've performed. Let's get rid of you. Yep. Doing okay. I do love with the 3D terrain how you can hide things like this, and it should hopefully work quite well. He says, sounding not massively confident, but no. somewhat confidently. Somewhat confidently. But I think it'll look quite cool with all of this covered in. It'll look quite cool. But this should help speed up the process. We have no dirt left suddenly. Well, there's your problem. Oh no, we have... Okay, so we have dirt in... It's all our dirt over in the Sky district. Yes, yes it is. Right, well, we can resolve that. So what we do is we delete that and we put an little jobby there. No, we put that the correct way round, like that. And we prioritize building that, and that just switches all those warehouses or piles to the correct side. This guy now has power. Not that he's affecting much, but he looks cool. So that's good. Come on, get that built. Right, we have dirt again. Good stuff, good stuff. Yeah, Mom. Let's do the next one. Go. We have an army of builders, so the more we have for them to build, the more that can be built. At this point, it's not like on early Timberborn saves where you sat waiting for builders to be able to do stuff. Here it's more the builders are sat waiting for things to do. So until we run out of dirt, we should be throwing as many jobs as possible at them. Those. Let's delete our access to that bit. Let's delete our access to this bit. And once it's all sealed up, we can look to turn it back on, which will be quite cool. There we go. You. Do we get the right height? You. Now are we looking? We've got a few builders that are still trying to use the paths down here. So let's disconnect the paths, which will hopefully discourage them from doing that. I think it's because they're linked up to tubeways. That will hopefully discourage them from doing that, so we don't get any beavers trapped before I delete paths. Not past the ladders yet. That seems to be okay. So let's do that. I think it's because that's a good connection between there and there. Right, dirt. Is that all of the holes on this side covered up? Looks like it is once they've done all of it. Now the question is, well, we can't do all of them, at least not with dirt on this side. Do we cover over them with not dirt? We can do mostly dirt, I guess. I think the feeling in the comments seemed to be that you would prefer it so, from the few comments that I got. So what we can do is we can dirt most of it. And then this guy, we do a platform and an impermeable floor. And then we don't necessarily need to have the sluice gate active. So I think we go for that as a, and we create a sealed system. I think that's a good idea. And then we're just working off the height of the reservoir. I think this was a suggestion from one of you guys in the comments. So go for that. What I could go for is some lunch about now, but you know. Let's try and get this job finished, folks. So that is all of the holes on that side covered in. We've just got the few little bits where we've got the impermeable floors over the sluice gates. Just about everything is covered over now. Just let them get these built. And then we need to turn it on. Have we got water left? We've got a little bit of water left. What I haven't done is link the two, and I've had the really good suggestion of doing that with a tunnel between the two. But yeah. I think this is going to look really cool when it kicks in. I'm actually going to do a screenshot now. And then we'll get a screenshot after as well. So that is done enough. Right, let's find the right sluice gate. So we open you, and let's open you, and I think that should do it. And I think now we just wait. Well, what we do is we watch. We watch for the flow of water. So it's coming through here. The one that's going to be the real test is up here, I think. Can it get up to this? Which is going to take a while because it's all got to fill to the right height. You can see down here, some of this is greening up nicely. At a convenient point, the bad water down here is dried up, which is good. How are we looking up at map level? So, just how are these all looking? This one, this is open. So these are... I think the thing that's going to slow down these filling up is the fact that this side has a lot of lower stuff that needs to fill up first. And each time we get to a new level of lowness, that word, it needs to fill. So I don't know which is the best way to watch it, really. Is it like watching from above? And we might find that we run out of, yeah, I think we've run out of water there. So that's a problem. And maybe now is the time that we need to think about linking these two together. So we can still get to the top. And that's, in theory, not a difficult thing to do. He says, can I actually get to where I need to get to? I can get to some dirt there. So, actually, I think the easiest way to do it is just to run an entire stack there, isn't it? Yeah, like that. Not there. Let's get rid of all of those and those. And we'll do the same over this side. We'll run an entire stack there. And what we'll try and do then is, how deep do we need to go? There's the key question. What I need to do is get a tunnel that goes under this. So tunnel path. If I put that there, that's invisible. So that's what we need to do. And then we need to weave our way to, where are we headed? To there. So there, awesome. Is that going to be an issue if I blast a hole there? Potentially, actually. We need that to be sealed. Or we might need to do some ugliness to make this work. Let's come over here. Here we have more space because we can do it there, and that's where the clean water comes out. But here, where's my tunnel? Do we need to go around? No, because that's going to bring, we can't touch the water sources, can we? No. So we're going to go all the way up here, all the way to there, and to there. There, and then if I came up there. Yeah. Yep. If I put triple explosives there. So that one's okay. This side is more challenging. The alternative is I do it in there, because we only need to get the clean water into that bit. So that would work. So let's delete you. I can delete. Do I want to do that? Yeah. What we're going to do is we're going to delete you. We're going to put a sluice there so I can turn it off if I need to. We're going to set you to closed at the moment. And rebuild that. We're gonna, where am I? Jesus. Right, we're gonna put the pile of ladders here. Yeah. We're gonna dynamite down here. No, we're not, because that's gonna contaminate that. Oh, this is tough. I don't know if we can do that easily. We are very short of space. Or we just bring that across into there and feed it straight into the irrigation system. Yeah. Hells yes. That's way more sensible. Tunnel. Yeah, that'll work. We'll let them rebuild that because we need to. But that's what we do. We connect this side to the irrigation system, which has run out of water. So, you know, there's that. So I'm going to let them build this. And we'll put a sluice in the tunnel so we can switch it off if we need to. We don't need to build this anymore. Yeah, that's a better way of doing it. Which is not quite what you suggested, I know. But it will work. So, let's delete that. We can then put in a series of ladders to there. And we can tunnel that all the way. Did that connect up? Oh, not sure that's hooked up properly. No, now it is. So they can tunnel that through to the irrigation system. And what we'll do is we'll just put a sluice in there, so if we want to, we can turn it off. That's the way to get that to work. But I'll do that and I'll come back when the drought ends. So the tunnel is not quite done yet, but the drought is over, so we should be getting water flowing. If the game wants to continue playing, please, that would be rather nice. We finished with really not a lot of water. Yeah, so that's not great. But, you know, we'll be okay. It'll be fine. I was expecting to see water flowing through this system rather quickly, but I'm guessing it's instantly going into filling this up first. So that makes sense. So this will probably take a while to fill, I guess. If we look in here, where is our water going? Into here and then into here. Okay, it's going to be a while. The tunnel is about half done. I've got it so that they have some supplies up here now to try and speed up that process. Obviously the river is going to start flowing, which is going to start greening some of this up as well. But here's what it is. I think we've had a bunch of stuff die as well, which sucks, but what are you going to do? It's a process, as they say. And it's a project that was part done as we were experimenting with stuff. So there we go. Things are now starting to flow out, and so we should now start to see it fill up everything and irrigate things. I was hoping that they would build this really quickly, but I'm guessing they can only get to these one at a time. So, and it's a bit of a trek for them. So it's going to take them a little while to do that, but we should now start to see, with the flow of water, the irrigation fill up, which is kind of cool. Obviously the river is doing a lot of the heavy lifting now. I do feel that probably we need to significantly increase our pumping capacity, because I'm a little bit worried that we won't refill what we had before. So I'm actually going to rip out the stupid little bit of pumping there, because that seems to be irrelevant, I think. What we're going to do is replicate this structure, which is 7 high by the looks of it. So we'll put that in, but we'll do it slightly more neatly. Yep, like that. We'll build another entire bank of deep water pumps. We'll bring over the tubeway network. Oh, I thought I'd nailed that. That'll do it. And we'll put a tiny tubeway station at the end, like that. And I'm going to prioritize building that, because then hopefully they can build out from there. They should be able to build that first, and that will give us a lot more water pumping capacity, because currently we don't have much. Well, we do, but not as much as I'd like to refill our water storage capacity, because it feels like we used up quite a lot. That's the first time I think we've run out, or got close to running out. So this is starting to look better. How's this one looking? Might take a while, because we might need things to fill up a lot more before this fills up. So we might need this to be... Oh, this is actually quite full. So we go in here. This is all still filling up. So if we look, yeah, water hasn't made it yet to fill up all of these. So this is going to take a while, it seems. And that's why probably it would be beneficial if this one was also feeding in, because that would, well, not necessarily increase it, because it's all going through a single pipe. So, you know, but we're just going to have to give that a little bit of time. Dummy's got himself stranded, which is going to be really annoying because that's probably going to stop them building some of that stuff. So I think we're going to have to put a tubeway station there to rescue him. Yeah, I guess he got there because as soon as they built the metal platform, they all started flooding out to build stuff. So what I'm going to do is delete that because that will just let him get rescued, hopefully. And as soon as he is, I'm going to delete it because they're probably going to try and get to build some of this stuff as well. Maybe just let them try and build what they can. Come on. Go. You're free. Right. Tubeways. Reprioritize them. Because they can't build this stuff in the middle until they've got this built. So, you know, come on. Choppy, choppy. Folks. And it does feel like we need to build some more water storage capacity. I guess now we've built... Where did I build all of those? There. Now we've built the big irrigation system. We could probably get rid of that and put in... No. Okay. Yeah, because they're only 2 wide, aren't they? Not 3 wide. The barrels were too wide because the area was too wide. And I already missed the duplicate copy thing, which, you know, when you're watching my videos on version 1.0, you're all going to get really frustrated with that I'm not using it. And you're going to be sitting there going, you know, you can duplicate and copy it and stuff. And I'm going to be going, yeah, I know, but I forgot in that instant. But right now, I'm really missing it. But that gives us another bunch of water storage capacity. So our water storage capacity will be higher once it's in. How's our tunnel doing? Not quite there yet. How's our irrigation doing for filling up? Not full yet. So we've got areas over here which have nothing in yet, but you can see it's starting to change as things fill. So this is, some of this is green from not the irrigation system. So the water's there at the moment, and I think that's because if we go over here, does that one need to be in there? No. Okay. We go over here, this has not got anything in it yet because this is all still filling up. You can see it's still flowing lots. So this, if we go down to this one, yeah, and what's our highest point looking like? Yeah, it's still got lots of space to fill up, so that's just gonna need to do its thing, I guess. But I know I really annoyed someone on another video with my ing. That's not gonna change, folks. You're just gonna have to deal with that. If it annoys you, I'm not changing, unfortunately. But that looks way better, doesn't it? That looks pretty darn cool, I think. That looks pretty darn cool. We need to make sure someone takes some logs to that guy. That's quite a transformation. What we need to do is now get some foresters in. Need water to make it up to there. I feel that's probably going to dry out relatively quickly. You know, kind of feels that way to me. I know there's a forester nearby there already, but Lavy, folks, Lavy. Throw one there. We are just going to have to let this keep going, I think. More foresters back over here to replant stuff once this is refilled. I think that's going to take a little while. How's our new water pumping system looking? It is going in. It's going in. And we've now got storage for 36,000 water, which is kind of nice. So, yeah, I'm going to let this run for a bit, and I'll come back to you guys when everything is hopefully full. Okay, folks, it is the morning, and the irrigation has improved significantly as things have eventually filled up. It took quite a while, but you can see now that even our highest points are full. That being this one over here. So it did take quite a while, but it is now full. I've added in the forest tool. I did decide to add it in because I figured it would make my life much easier. Never used it before, but if you go over to the tree planting tool, we have the forest tool option. And I'm just going to go for everything. So we're going to allow clearings, and basically all of the options are ticked. And that's going to randomly plant everything that's available to the forester. It's going to include clearings, and it's going to naturally achieve the look that I was trying to get, without me having to do all of that random clicking. And that's going to make the map, I think, look very cool very quickly. So we're just going to drag in a whole bunch of area to plant, and let this guy go to work. And you can see it's naturally putting in the clearings and everything. And so, yeah, not used it before, have seen it, have had it suggested to me to use when I'm trying to do things like this. I'm going to leave the dead trees because I think they will add an element of random interestingness to it as well. We need to put in a few more foresters so that we can cover the whole area, but it's going to allow us to cover this big area pretty quickly, which I think is really cool and what I wanted to achieve. So a bit more up here maybe. Yep, I agree. We need a stair ladder case there. There's a technical term, by the way, if you're not familiar with it. The stair ladder case. It's not a mod, it's built into the game. Let's not try to plant them in the water. There we go. But yeah, I think that's going to make it look quite cool once it's all planted. Let's come over here and fill this area all in as well. Because now we can just drag and plant. And that'll be much, much easier. And it's going to be really awesome once it's all done. Well, I think so anyway. You might disagree, but I think you're wrong. So, yeah. Water's going up quite slowly. I think we're connected over here now. Yep. So we're just going to 4, not because we need to, but because I think it's probably sensible to be able to control the different water paths, we're going to put a sluice in. We're going to have it set to be open. Where's that coming from? Okay. I guess that's the excessive amount of water coming through this, which is not good. How do we manage? That's okay. That'll sort itself out. Good stuff. That's okay. And this is just going to look brilliant when it's all planted up. Thing is going to look awesome. We can get rid of this guy now. You can go. But yeah, I think that's just going to look so cool. Why are you disconnected now? Because I deleted some path in the process. Let's reconnect the path. Let's put in a proper bridge here. So we're not on a janky budget now. And we'll let these guys get the job done. Oh, we've got another one here. There we go. You hooked back up. And I think that's just going to look so much better. Now, will the irrigation last through some super long droughts? That's a really good question. Well asked. I'm not entirely sure. We could do with creating a little bit of drainage, maybe going along there, just in case we get that bit of flooding like we've got now. I like that you're asking that. I appreciate that you're concerned. I don't know. If we do, we do, you know. We won't find out because we're not going to be here long enough to find out. Because we are pretty much done. This has been a fun series. Yeah. The apocalypse element of this went away relatively early, didn't it? I don't actually remember early on it being overly difficult with the long droughts because of the way they kicked in slowly. I don't actually remember. I think the maximum is set to 75 days on here, on this settings that I have. I did enjoy when someone vehemently pointed out to me that the maximum was 30 days and I didn't need to worry about having so much water stored, and we've literally almost just run out of water because the maximum was not 30 days. They got very annoyed and said they were never going to watch again. I don't know if they're still watching or not, but you know, anyway. I did appreciate them telling me that I didn't know how I had my own game set up. We need more power. We could open that up, but I think it looks kind of nice with it being clean water flowing, actually. And why are the batteries not being supply, demand? So the supply is less than the demand, but they're not depleting the battery. Oh, the batteries are depleted. Okay. That should probably be resolved, shouldn't it? That is relatively easy to resolve with where we are at this point. Because what we can do is put you there, power. So I quite like the fact we've not got bad water flowing if we don't have to have it flowing. 1, 2, Okay, let's come in here. No, 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 not you. Not you. You, and you, and you. Actually select the delete tool, shall we? Priority, priority, priority. And while we're doing this, they're getting time to plant all those lovely trees. It is taking them quite a long time. Back to power. Engines, steam engines in the new version. Just connect those in, and that'll give us another 1200 HP, which will sort out our power issue. Let's not plant the wrong side of the irrigation barriers. And let's make sure those are prioritized by haulers. Okay. Go. They come online. More power and flywheels should start. Yep. That's resolved that. And it just looks nicer with the clean water flowing, I think. Yeah, we like that. We could plant a little bit up there, so let's get in there, get that going. Probably should have put in a lot more foresters. This guy has done all his planting, so he can go. This guy is still planting. This guy is still planting. This guy is still planting. This guy. Guy isn't, but what we can do is give him access to down here. And he'll be busy again. So let's get that going. Yep. That'll work. But I'm going to just leave it to run for a bit now and let them get done, and we'll come back when they're pretty much finished. Again. And as we approach a 2-hour-long bumper episode, apologies, those of you that don't like really long videos, which is probably most of you when it's this long. We are done. We are into a 62-day long drought, which means one, the Badwater dome discharge has opened to provide power for the bots over here. I've been through and cleared out a lot of the paths and all of the foresters and all of the planting area. Yes, I've told them to not plant the mangroves before you frantically typed that one in the comments. And I think this area looks quite cool now. By turning off all of the planting area, over time the forests will spread. And it'll, kind of grow, and I think it'll, if we kept playing this area, it would eventually look quite cool. But I think we've done quite a good job of re-greening a big chunk of the map. Obviously, it's a big map. It's a 256 by 256 map, so there is quite a lot of the map left, obviously. But it is time for us to move on, folks. I have no idea how long this would last for keeping things alive. I did throw in, while you weren't watching, a bunch more pumps. So I put in a set here, to pump from the area that we get water during the temperate cycle. I put in another set here because I was a bit worried that we weren't pumping fast enough, and we only actually got up to 16,000 water. So would we have made it through the 62-day bad site or drought? Well, we could always do what you guys have suggested a few times. Flip these round and have them purify bad water. So would be fine, ultimately. We might have to get a little bit cheaty, but we'd be fine. This has been a fun map. I've enjoyed it. It's a big map. It has killed the performance of my computer with this save. But it's been a fun challenge. I didn't quite get as far as I would like with things. I would have liked to have done more with the Sky City. We did very little with that. I feel I let you down a little bit with that. We had the little underground city that we built and kind of abandoned as these guys live in the lap of luxury of 51 well-being and having to do nout. They just live and swim and have good times. Oh, their tail stamps got reset. It's not good. They're supposed to be the golden beavers. That's not good. Yeah, so these guys just do nothing except live the good life. There are 32 of them. So they do nothing except have good times. Underground, but they have good times. But yeah, it's been a fun old map. This was a fun project. The irrigation of the mangroves with the 3D terrain. This was the first bit of 3D terrain that we played with on this save, at least. So yeah, that was cool. Yeah. And we finished with our big irrigation project. And I think this is one of the, considering it was done very haphazardly, got to take those off of planting. Not that it really matters, but you know, it was done very haphazardly. This is one of the bigger irrigation things I've tried to do, and it's worked quite well. The idea that, you know, the two ideas that I've taken on board from you guys was, one, running the pipe underneath so both sides are joined into the irrigation system, and two, just capping everything off so it just runs at pressure. Have both worked very well. We don't seem to be losing too much water here, which is cool. So yeah, that's it, I think, folks. Hope you have enjoyed the series as the sun sets on the map. Let me know what you think about whether we do Oasis or the other map. With everything that I said about, I've played the other map and I've kind of been through the puzzles on it. We'll keep playing the Leafcoat series, and I will see you all next time.